The central storyline was becoming trite and predictable, and the bitingly witty satire was becoming more overt and partisan with every season, parroting the same predictable talking points as every other Hollywood product.
Hey pal, you just blowing from Stupid Town?
Hey guys, I know I'm really late on this topic because I've already posted 2 videos since my return to YouTube per se and being consistent and everything, but I wanted to talk about this video by The Critical Drinker where he pretty much calls The Boys Season 4 woke media without actually having watched The Boys Season 4. And I don't know, I just kind of wanted to go on a quick little rant about this video, kind of look at some of the segments I don't agree with, and then give my own personal opinion on whether I like The Boys Season 4 and if it's too woke. Now, just for some basic, whatever the fuck, I'm not really politically into either side. I don't care. I just don't care. I don't care about politics. That's just a whole lot of yapping. I don't align myself with either side. So I guess if you want to consider me a neutral, whatever, neutral party or whatever you want to call it, I guess. I see Critical Drinker in his video takes a more, I guess you could say, right-leaning stance on woke media and other stuff along those lines. Listen, bro, if something's bad, I'm going to call it bad. If something's good, I'm going to call it good, regardless of what side it's on. There can be good shows that are primarily based with right-wing values, and there's good shows that are primarily based with left-wing values. So today I want to talk about the Critical Drinker's review because I don't really get where he's getting this argument that The Boys is this super woke show that is pushing this left agenda, because I've watched every single season of The Voice, every single episode damn near twice, and I don't even know where he's getting this from. I don't know if he's misinterpreting the show or if he's just not watching it and he's just turning his brain off, because there's no way you can come to this conclusion after watching any season of The Boys. Even if you haven't even watched season 4 and you're basing your entire perspective of the show off the previous 3 seasons, you can't even come to that conclusion. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get right into this, man, because this video actually irritated me because I really truly do like this show, and I hate when people just say stupid stuff on the internet.
Because I could see the way The Boys was heading as a creative property. The complex, nuanced and multifaceted characters were slowly morphing into simplified parodies of themselves.
Now see, this is how you know somebody has not watched a show or actually paid attention at all. Because the fact that you are saying that these complex characters are no longer complex just completely makes me not want to take your entire video seriously. There is no way that we can sit down here and have a conversation about The Boys and say these characters are not complex anymore. Like, what are you talking about? You're just not even watching the show. So let's go ahead and take Butcher, for example. At the beginning of the show, Butcher just wanted to kill Homelander because Homelander took his wife. And that's what upset him. That was his drive. He wanted to kill all superheroes because he was upset about what Homelander did. Now we're about to get into spoiler territory, so if you don't want to be spoiled for season 4, go ahead and click off the video now. I gave you a warning. If you're still watching, that's on you. At the end of season 4, the final episode, after Butcher rips apart Newman and kills her, he had the choice to kill Starlight and Kimiko, 2 superheroes. Any other time before this, if it was Butcher from season 1, he would have killed them too. But because Butcher has grown as a character and sees these people as not just superheroes, he sees them as people that he's grown close with and considers friends, he decides not to kill them and lets them leave, and even decides to tell them to get out of town because he doesn't want to see them get hurt when Homelander eventually does the thing he does at the end of the show. Like, what are you talking about? And even if you don't want to use Butcher as an example, we can use Huey as an example. Huey himself in the show has confirmed his own character development.
And is that our solution to every problem is murder. I used to freak out whenever I saw blood. Now I barely blink at it. It shouldn't be that way. This isn't some fucking Vought movie. Violence isn't brave. And neither is hating my mom, or A-Train, or anyone. But forgiveness, letting go, a little fucking mercy. That's brave.
At the beginning of the show, Huey was too afraid to literally kill anybody. And in the final episode of season 4, he goes on a little tirade about how he's tired of seeing people die. Because at the beginning of the show, he literally says, at the beginning, I was afraid of seeing people die. I was afraid of seeing blood. But now I just blink at it. I don't even care anymore. Because Huey has to progress as a character. At the beginning of the show, Huey was like tripping. He was sad. He was scared after killing what's his name? The invisible dude. It's been so long. I'm sorry. I know it may seem like I'm being hypocritical, but I just don't remember his name. He was such a minor character, and I really just don't care. After he killed him, he was like tripping. He was sad. He didn't want to murder anybody. But now this man Huey is taking out soups and humans alike whenever he's needed to. Like, the dude literally sat by and watched Soldier Boy kill the entire team of Payback and even bat an eye. Because he's just so desensitized to what's going on around him. Now, there's some characters in the show, yes, that you could say have not grown. But, I mean, those are not the main boys or the 7. Heck, even A-Train, one of the main antagonists of the show at one point, has turned and became a hero. Like, what do you mean these characters are not deeper? They're becoming like caricatures and less deep characters as the show progresses. You're just not paying attention to the show itself, and you're just chatting. You're just absolutely just chatting about something that you haven't watched. Because later in this video, he's going to say he hasn't even watched season 4 of The Boys. So how are you making a review on something that you have not even seen yet?
Maybe we'd actually get something similar here. So, it was off to Rotten Tomatoes for me to check out the reviews. Not the critic reviews, of course, because nobody in their right mind gives a shit what those fucking shills have got to say about anything anymore. I'm talking about the audience reviews, which is the only semi-reliable barometer for quality these days, and oh.
Your entire video is based off of the audience reviews of a TV show. Hey, Critical Drinker, let me just go ahead and just throw some ideas out here. Have you ever thought for a single second when you were making this video, you know, maybe people don't like the show, therefore they are leaving hate reviews to, you know, I don't know, it's a crazy idea, tank the, you know, reviews of the show to make it look worse than it is? We've seen people do this to video games and other movies all the time. We've seen people review bomb Overwatch because they didn't like the game. They didn't like how the game had went. So they review bombed it. And now the game has a overwhelmingly negative score. Does Overwatch deserve an overwhelmingly negative score? You can decide that for yourself. I like the game. I enjoy it. I think the microtransactions are crazy, but I don't think it deserves overwhelmingly negative. But, you know, people hate review things when they don't like it. Oh my god, it's a mind-blowing concept. I don't get how Critical Drinker never considered that to be a possibility.
I mean, the audience scores had been gradually declining from an all-time high of 90% in Season 1 to 75% by Season 3, but that's kind of in line with most shows, to be fair. But there's no denying that Season 4 absolutely fell off a cliff. Good lord, I don't think I've seen a fan base turn so hard on any show since Game of Thrones. Look through the reviews and you'll see page after page of absolutely brutal write-ups, all saying basically the same thing.
If you guys want, you should really pause the video and read some of the reviews that he is showing as his evidence as to why the show has, you know, went down in quality. Because some of these reviews are head-scratchingly stupid that it blows my mind that you would even cite this as a reason as to why the show has declined in quality. Like, how do you, as a channel as big as you are, not even go through the effort of watching the show that you are making a video about? Like at what point do you just sit down and just stop even caring about, you know, what you're talking about on your channel, where you're just yapping? Like, this is actual just yapping. You didn't even watch the show. You went to Rotten Tomatoes, and instead of even picking like a review of the show that made any logical sense and even talked about anything, you picked the reviews of people doing exactly what you're doing, just yapping without giving any reasons as to why they don't like the show. They're just over here talking about, well, the show is too woke. That's not a reason. That doesn't give examples of how the show's too woke. You're just saying something. Just like you're just saying something. That's just words. You're not even explaining your reasoning or how you came to the conclusion. Like, how are we citing this as evidence as to how a show has gone down in quality? It doesn't even make sense. Like, how do people take reviews like this seriously? Like, how do you sit down and record this and think, man, people are going to love this one? Like, I don't even get how people in the comment section are even agreeing with this video, because he's just talking. He's not citing any evidence as to how the show has declined in any way, shape, or form, or anything. It doesn't even make sense. But whatever. You know, let's continue. Maybe later in the video, he'll go a little bit crazier and he'll explain how the show's gone down in quality with, you know, scenes, episodes, timestamps, something. I don't know.
You know, why do I feel like this is rapidly becoming a tale as old as time? A show gets popular and goes mainstream, the writers get a little too overconfident and think they can use it as a platform for their own personal hang-ups, the fans start to push back against them, and instead of taking that criticism on board and responding in a constructive manner, they just say, fuck it, go watch something else, you dicks.
Now you see, like, this is like the part where I get so confused. If you guys watch this guy's content, you can tell that his stuff is clearly pandering towards the people on the right side of the aisle, correct? So how is it any different when your entire content is pandered towards one side? How is that any different than The Boys writers deciding to put some of their political beliefs in their content? Is that not the same thing that you are doing? You actively dunk on left people all the time in your videos. You make jokes about them and yada yada. So why is it any different when The Boys writers occasionally dunk on the right? Because they dunk on both sides. But somebody that you have to watch season 4 to understand that, which you clearly haven't done. Because if you did, you would understand that. But it's like, oh my gosh, it's just so confusing how people just completely miss the point of a show. The Boys is not some left propaganda that's trying to push this woke idea. The Boys actively makes fun of both sides all the time. And if you would have watched the show, you would have been able to comprehend that. It's just, I don't know what else I can say. I can't even make an argument. Like, I can't even argue with the guy. How do you argue with somebody that hasn't watched something? Like, how do I even try and inform you upon the ideas and the jokes in the show if you have not watched it? It doesn't even make sense. I just can't. I can't. I don't know if I can even continue talking about this because I just can't. I just don't even know what to say. Because every single point that he brings up, I just respond with, you haven't watched the show. Because I can do that for the entire video. You haven't watched the show. You haven't watched season 4. The whole season that you're talking about. How are you going to be critical of something that you have not watched? It doesn't make sense. It's stupid.
It's the entertainment equivalent of that asshole kid who takes his ball and flounces off home because everyone else won't play the game the way he wants them to. It's this weird narcissistic sense of entitlement amongst creatives these days that everyone should just unconditionally support and agree with you because you're such a paragon of wisdom that there's no possibility you could ever be wrong about anything.
I really want to take a look at that last part of the video where he talks about like creatives like being entitled or something and thinking that people should agree with their viewpoint. Dude, what are you even talking about? Your entire video is formatted in a way that is because this show has jokes that appeal to the left and take on the right, therefore it is bad. You are basically saying that because the show shits on your side of the aisle, you have a problem with it. Is that not hypocritical? Because the show does not pander to you, you have an issue with it. Is that not the same thing? You feel entitled that the show should accompany your views. Like, what are you talking about? Even though the show does equally talk about both sides of the aisle and they poke jokes at both of them, does that not sound the tiniest bit hypocritical to say that these people feel entitled that they need to put this into their show? I'm not even gonna lie to you guys, bro. That's really all I can do for the rest of this. The rest of the video is literally the same thing, and if I continue to talk about it, we would just echo back to the same basic point that you have not watched the show, or specifically season 4, yet you are making a review of season 4, or dumping on season 4. Like, what are you talking about? I can't argue with this. I can't even talk about it, because I've already brought up every single argument point I wanted to. So what's the point of me even talking about it more? Because the more I watch this video, the more just like frustrated I get, because it's like you don't know what you're talking about. It's like you just don't know. You haven't seen it, yet you're trying to take a stance on something that you haven't seen or you haven't watched. It's stupid. And your video is stupid, and my video might also be stupid. Who cares? I don't know. But at the end of the day, watch The Boys season 4 for yourselves. Don't be a sheep and just go off of what people say. If you don't agree with me and you think The Boys season 4 is woke, go watch it for yourself and go see that it's not. If you agree with Critical Drinker and you think that the show is like oh, woke, or you want to agree that the show isn't woke, just go ahead and find out for yourself. Please, guys, I'm telling you, people in this video, please, if you've gotten to this point, I'm begging you, think for yourselves. Think freely. Do not just listen to what people on the internet say about something. It skews your viewpoint. If you go into the comment section, there's people in Critical Drinkers comment section talking about oh, well, thank you. Now I won't watch season 4. How are you going to let another person decide which you should watch because they didn't like it? Go find out for yourself. That's all I have to say. That's what I want to end on. Please, guys, any media, it doesn't matter what it is, news, YouTube, movies, games. If you are interested in something and you see a review and you're like, man, well, I don't want to do that anymore, take it with a grain of salt and go find out for yourself. If you really are interested in wanting to see, go find out for yourself. Do not take what people say at face value and go do what you want to do. I'm going to have to go take a nice cold shower because this video has me fired up, because stupid people saying stupid stuff on the internet will always irritate me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out. Go check out the show. It's really good, I promise.